I turned $5,000 into $500,000 by Tori Trades. I'm going to be skipping around a lot here because it's a 30-minute video.
Today, I'm going to show you guys how I turned $5,000 into $500,000 in trading profits.
My gut feeling is the way that she did that was by opening up a YouTube channel and either by front-running her followers or potentially lying, because the probability that she was able to turn $5,000 into $500,000 by trading is close to 0%.
Years now. I was taught a strategy by a family member. So today I'm going to show you guys how I turned $5,000 into $500,000.
Does she actually show her trading statements? My gut feeling is that there's no way that she turned $5,000 into $500,000 by trading alone.
$1,000 in trading profits. I'm going to walk you guys through the ups or family money to years of no progress and the snowball effect that happens. I didn't start with much, so some of you guys may think since a family member taught me how to trade, I must come from a very wealthy family. You know, had daddy's money or family money to rely on? No, I didn't come from much. So, grew up in multiple different trailer hopped in Middleburg, Florida. These are my three sisters.
Middleburg, I think that's in Clay County, which is the county that's west of Duval, which Duval is basically all of Jacksonville, Florida. It seems like Tori's story is she had a very disadvantaged childhood and she probably failed at everything. And then she got one lucky break and now she's a super successful trader. But the reality is probably something much different. In my opinion, I don't believe that she's profitable because all these people who rely upon technical analysis and day trading, there are no studies that indicate that technical indicators have any predictive value at all. In fact, there are numerous studies that show that 97 to 99.8% of retail day traders lose money. And I think it's safe to assume that day traders aren't just randomly entering and exiting trades. They're probably using some type of system, most of which is probably grounded in technical analysis and MACD and Bollinger Bands and candles and things of that nature. But it doesn't work. In fact, the research studies indicate that there's no learning component to day trading.
Then my grandma in the background in Middleburg, Florida. Another thing that people might think is that I have, in addition to being a beauty school dropout, I at least did finish high school. Although I can guarantee if it would have been up to me, I would have been a high school dropout as well. So fast forward.
She's trying to convince you that miraculously she became a super successful trader, when in reality, it's my opinion that she had to open up a YouTube channel and portray herself as a successful trader, because if not, maybe she would be homeless.
To now, we're now trading with $500,000 of trading profits. And the coolest part is all of my account balance was built 100% purely by my own trading, by my own ability to grow my capital through my trading profits.
Yeah, I would love to subpoena her statements because, again, the likelihood that she's telling the truth is probably close to 0%. By making these claims, it actually leaves her open to significant litigation risk because someone could simply subpoena her trading statements. What this video should have been is she logs into her brokerage and then she shows all of her trading statements and not just the account balance, because if she's bringing money in from her audience, then she could be depositing that money to increase her account balance. As she said, it's purely based upon trading profits. She should show her trading statements to validate her claim that she made all of her money from trading. It seems like YouTube attracts women who are losers and who are mildly attractive so that they're not attractive enough for OnlyFans, but they still have a large community that will gladly simp for them and send them money to support their lifestyle. Creators like Shay from Humble Trader are a decent example. You know, mid-level like a 5 or a 6, so they can't make money on OnlyFans. But for some reason, they seem incapable of holding down a regular job, so they come on YouTube and then they act like they're profitable traders. Now, maybe Tori is a profitable trader, but I would say that the probability that she turned $5,000 into $500,000 in trading profits is close to 0%. And so far in this video, she's not providing any proof or evidence.
And one of the coolest things is I've been able to help thousands of traders become profitable.
Sure,
all I'm
you
doing
have.
is showcasing a strategy that is comprehensible, that is digestible, and what I'm going to show you is how you can do this too.
Yeah, of course. Of course she's going to try to show you how you can do it too, because in my opinion, that's how she makes her money, by having her audience support her lifestyle.
We have to start to go to college, I wake up the next morning to see someone had totaled my car while it was parked. It was a hit and run. Probably a drunk driver. I'm assuming drove to the bar, got wasted, and tried to leave. And it blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. My car was completely totaled. I also wasn't paying car insurance back in those days. I was prioritizing other bills, like rent and food and groceries. Time in my life. Never did I think I'd have to be commuting on a bike everywhere, but I ended up falling in love with it. I ended up becoming a sponsored athlete, started to compete. So I moved to LA chasing this sport. LA was the ultimate thing, and LA was really expensive. A girl coming from Middleburg, Florida, trying to make it in LA, let's just say, long story short, I had to go back home. I just couldn't do it. I was couch hopping. I was trying to find jobs.
Right. So again, she probably became a YouTube influencer out of necessity because maybe she couldn't hold down a regular job and she was potentially scared of being homeless.
And I was kind of a shitty young adult. I would show up late to jobs. I think I ended up getting fired from like a bikes and hikes place in LA. I worked at a cycling clothing company. Like I was bouncing around trying to find jobs, trying to make things work, but I just couldn't make ends meet.
Yup. So basically, it sounds like she failed at everything else, but she miraculously became a successful trader who was able to turn 5,000 into 500,000. The probability of that is close to 0%, but it makes for a good story.
But I had to go back home. So I left LA, and this is when I got a very interesting phone call from my sister Peyton. So my little sister attending homeschooling at my uncle's house.
All these people have similar stories where they're down on their luck, and then fate intervenes and they suddenly become the person that they always knew that they could have been, when in reality, 9 times out of 10, it's complete bullshit. Again, maybe in this case it's accurate, but it's highly, highly unlikely.
I got the call from look up to in every way, shape, or form. I could only hope to embody half of the things. Be interested in moving in with, and I'm like, Watford himself teaching. I had nothing else to do. I was like, yep, let's do it, let's go. But I retained the information and how we kind of took what he taught us and ran with it.
So then, where are the recordings? I would love to see those recordings because it just doesn't really make sense. Someone who's unable to keep a job is now probably going to end up telling us that they morphed into someone who's incredibly disciplined and then they became a successful trader. When all the research studies indicate that there is no predictive value in technical analysis and there's no educational component to day trading, meaning the more you day trade, the more money you lose, not the better you get at day trading. You just become better at losing money.
If we could even understand, knew he owned multiple. What did my degree? Great at math, be an A+ student. He made it so elementary, essentially, for me, to where I felt like I actually could do this. He really started from the very, very basics. And
there's a high likelihood that this photo has nothing to do with trading. What's this? It looks like an inversion table. I was actually thinking about getting something like that because I have lower back pain, but I decided against it. But that's interesting. Anyway, moving on.
Since he had already been trading for 20 years at this moment in time when he's teaching me and my sister, you don't need to look at money, the way we were thinking about the markets, the movement. And then we go to our computers, start trading.
And then suddenly, after being a complete failure my entire life, I became an uber successful trader. And that's why you guys should join my community or use my affiliate links.
New York Open. The excitement was there. Information, and it was such a fun time, an absolute blast.
So then where are the videos though? Didn't she say that he was recording it? Can someone ask her to post those specific videos?
To learn from a family member and to do it with your sister, so cool. A little bit of competition too, but we got to work an entire year of, think of it like an internship. I moved in with my uncle and we studied for the year. What I did do is I started with a sim account. So my uncle's teaching me how to navigate the charts, how to make I traded my sim account, and excited as I was.
So basically she got experience using a sim account and then she started learning the lingo. And then she also started learning about marketing and video editing and things of that nature, because I would assume that her uncle was recording it for a reason.
Really all over the place the first year. So my breakthrough consisted of fewer markets, essentially less charts,
Again, this whole thing about setups using technical analysis, there's no evidence at all that technical analysis is predictive.
Into an account, and I got to work. I have gone out. No, it did not. We lost the profits.
This is also something that you can easily subpoena. Year 1, 5,000, because she's giving definitive numbers here. She doesn't show her actual trading statements.
Okay, I wasn't making thousands and thousands of dollars and paying myself and transitioning to full-time trader. No, I was trading while working at the YMCA, while working at restaurants, while working admin jobs. I was trying to do, and when you start to see consistency, the losses still happen. Losses hurt. Just reflected on how I've been resilient in the past. So I realized, okay, I understood the system, stick through the drawdowns. My account had finally grown past the $5,000.
All right, so now she's ascending through the hero's journey, and now she's going to portray herself as an expert who has a lot of things figured out, and that's why you should probably follow her, because you could save yourself a lot of time, a lot of losses, and fast track your progress. All the while, she's making bold claims which have a close to 0% probability of being accurate, and she's actually not showing, in my opinion, hard evidence that what she's claiming is actually accurate. Showing random screenshots is not hard evidence, but showing your full trading statements after you log into your broker is actually hard evidence.
Get past it. Realized that my process was strong enough. I could do my chart analysis, and I had finally grown the account to 25K. We did it. We grew the account. We got that buffer. And you can finally start living off your trading.
Again, showing random screenshots doesn't really mean anything. Also, showing an unrealized profit as 0 likely means that she has 0 trades open at the time. Having your account equity, she could have simply deposited money. Even if this is accurate, which I believe it's not, it doesn't mean that she made this money via trading.
The years of you got to reach a level of success until you're so far from the truth in the very beginning. And so my process, the discipline.
Okay, so she's trying to convince us that discipline, patience, and strategy is what she has, when throughout her entire past, she has not been able to display characteristics of discipline, patience, or strategy. In the past, she said that she would show up late, she was fired from jobs, she got really bad grades in school, she quit college, etc. Now look, I believe that college is a scam, so I'm not saying that college is the end-all be-all, but what I am saying is that if you take things in aggregate, she hasn't been able to display discipline, patience, or strategy, and now she's telling you that the reason why she's successful, despite, in my opinion, not showing any evidence of discipline, patience, or strategy, or self-preservation. I mean, driving your car in Florida without insurance is a danger to you, and it's also a danger to other people, and it's also very inconsiderate. But apparently Tori didn't care. So we're meant to believe that a person who admits to all these failures based upon her character when she was younger has now morphed into this super successful trader that we should look up to. And also, I don't see any hard evidence that what she's claiming is actually accurate.
You need the patience, trust, and maintain a trader. This is a moment where, but since just paying myself additional was working well, risk and position size. And from here on, $500,000. Past $1 million followers didn't seem to, they did.
I mean, look at this. Open P&L of exactly $10,000. Portfolio value of $302,000. The likelihood of this is really, really small, especially because she has experience on a sim account. And it's my opinion that her uncle taught her about making videos and marketing and things of that nature. It's just too convenient, especially without providing hard evidence.
Double year after year. Consistency using the same strategy that I use.
And I can help you guys
simple
too.
Strategy. My personal breakthrough became an entire movement with discipline.
Yeah, because you can learn from someone who, in my opinion, failed at everything that they ever tried in life. And if it wasn't for being a YouTube trading influencer, there's a high probability that I would be homeless. But yeah, sign up for my community because I want to teach you too. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you have any evidence that what I'm saying is not true, then let me know. This is the first video of Tori's that I've watched, So maybe I'm way off base here, but I don't believe so. It's my opinion that she's a fraud and she's not legitimate, but I could be wrong, so let me know your thoughts.